Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling, and thanks for joining me for today's episode. And guys, today we're going to be talking about the only 3 lures you need for December bass fishing. Time of filming this video, it's right around the first part of December, the end of November, getting into December bass fishing. And you hear a lot about December fishing in terms of it's sort of like the intro to wintertime. But a lot of times December, especially with the advent that we've seen over the past, decade of man-made climate change, our Decembers are a lot warmer than they've ever been before. I was down at Table Rock Lake just a few days ago. Water temperature was still 62 degrees at the end of November. That's unheard of because 40 years ago it'd be down into the low to mid 50s by now easy. So anyway, patterns have changed a little bit. The lures and techniques have changed a little bit. We're gonna get that in today's video, but I got 3 baits that will pretty much catch fish about anywhere you go during the month of December. I'm also, guys, a couple quick housekeeping tips. Speaking of entering winter, I'd just like to invite everybody to swing by my link in the description, fishthemoment.com, and check out my winter Fish the Moment lake map breakdowns. These are maps that I have specifically built for Fish the Moment over the past 5 years. They're a great resource to guys to get you some good fishing spots on a lake you've never seen before or your favorite lake. Got lakes of all over across the country. We got them for all seasons of the year, but we got the winter maps up right now. So I'll have the link in the description of the video. And guys, anybody also interested in booking an on-the-water lesson with me for this winter, shoot me a private message on my Facebook page, Randy Blaukat, Professional Angler, and we'll get you schooled on how to fish jerkbait good in the wintertime if you want to do that. So all that stuff's in the description of the video. Okay, anyway, what I was saying here about how the patterns have changed, I have noticed, especially over the past 5 to 10 years, that December is not winter anymore, pretty much. It's sort of like just an extenuation of the fall. So the hardcore wintertime techniques for bass fishing have changed. I remember back in December where about the only thing we'd ever use in December was like a jig and spoon or a little George or like a little hair jig or something like a little black marabou hair jig because the water was so cold. But now, since the water temperatures are warmer, it's opening up a lot of different patterns that I want to talk about today. Now, there's a lot of different things that work in the month of December. There's a dozen different things that work pretty good. But the techniques that I'm going to talk about, the top 3, these are for man-made impoundments. If you fish a lake that has grass, like if you're in Florida or Texas, you don't really have the same type of bass fishing scenario as the rest of the world. You're dealing with warmer water temperatures and aquatic vegetation, which completely changes the pattern. But for the majority of bass anglers all through the country, especially anywhere through the central or north central or just central south part from California all the way to the East Coast, these techniques are going to work on man-made lakes. Okay, the first one, guys, now this is something that has really come on strong the last 5 years, and it used not to be a big deal in December, but it has been here recently, is the old school wiggle wart. Guys, the old school wiggle wart is sort of associated with being a pre-spawn crankbait, which that's probably the best time of year to fish it. But guys, I have hammered them on a wiggle wart the last 3 or 4 years in the month of December. It's a really good bait for this time of year. Something about it, I don't really understand why they've all of a sudden started biting it, because I fished a wiggle wart for, close to 50 years now, and I never used to do any good in December on it. It was always like a late February, March, April bait for me. But now, guys, the wiggle wart has become a really good bait for the month of December. Now, when you're fishing the wiggle wart, what you want to look for is sort of like the same type of areas that you're going to fish, during the pre-spawn. You need to have steeper rocky banks that are fairly close to deeper waters, the better. And you need to make long parallel casts with the wiggle wart and try to target that 5 to 10 foot zone. And a little tip that I'll give you on the wiggle wart here that helps out is fish your wiggle wart on a spinning rod. I use it on a spinning rod, 8-pound test line, and I can make a really long cast with the wiggle wart. And I can actually, on a long cast with a wiggle wart on 8-pound test fluorocarbon on a spinning rod, I can get this bait down close to 10 feet, especially if I got it weighted on the bottom where it's suspended. So that really gets down into that zone that a lot of those fish are at. Wiggle wart works good in December in a wide range of conditions. You can catch them on this thing anywhere between 1.5 foot of visibility up to 10 foot clarity. Just depends on, the day and the color that you want to use. Any type of crawdad pattern, you can't go wrong with it. I actually also like some type of shad patterns. So crawdad patterns usually work better, you know, if you have a little bit lower light conditions like cloudy or 75% overcast with some wind. And on those bright bluebird days, especially if the water's cleaner, you know, you're gonna find out that your shad patterns work pretty good. But just get on those steep rocky banks, bluff banks, that type of stuff, steep rocky points. Wiggle wart's a really good bait in the month of December. Okay, the next one, no surprise to anybody, but it's a little bit different, you know, profile here. Megabass 110+1 Junior. Now, December to me, actually November a little bit, but December is when I really start catching a lot of fish on the jerkbait. And one of the things that I've talked about here on the channel a lot the last few years is that in the wintertime, you want to go a little bit smaller with your jerkbait. So I start out in December with the 110+1 Junior. It's about a 4.5 inch long jerkbait. I go smaller in January. I'll go to that X Nanahan, which is like 3.5. But in the month of December, I downsized from the regular 110, but it's still a little bit bigger than the Nanahan. This 110+1 Junior is a really good bait in the month of December when they first start getting on a jerkbait. Again, spinning rod will fish it, same thing, either 6 or 8 pound test, Seaguar and Vizex fluorocarbon line. And this time of year, there's 2 primary structures that I'm fishing. One is just any main lake or secondary point. That's gonna be a good technique, a good area for them. And the second is parallel and bluff banks on the main lake with this. If you have clear water, and especially if you have a situation where you have a mixed species lake, like say for example, you're fishing Ozark Lakes or Lake Lanier in Georgia where you got spotted bass and largemouth and some smallmouth, get on those main lake bluff banks and cast this thing parallel out into that 5 to 20 foot zone, depending upon how clear your water is, and fish it down, you know, in that zone there. Most of the time with it, you know, I'm using some type of just a gentle twitch pause, not a jerk pause, but you know, I jerk it down there, get it deep, and then I'll just sort of twitch it like that and pull it a little bit, twitch it like that, let it stop, maybe pop it once. Just try to fish it, you know, pretty slow once you get it down to the maximum depth of it. And the 110+1 Junior, the good thing about it, it's a really good bait for tough fishing conditions. If you've got, you know, heavy fishing pressure, or if you have a bright sky with not much wind, you got the bass are finicky, this little downsized 110+1 Junior really works good. On 6 pound line, this bait is gonna run down close to 9 feet, so it gets down in a really good range for it. Comes in a wide range of colors. And also guys, I'll link all 3 of these baits in my tackle warehouse link in the description of this video if you guys would like to pick up these 3 baits I'm talking about today. But 110+1 Junior, deadly. Okay, and the final one, guys, and this has been my #1 producer over the last month here in the Ozarks, and that's a Finesse jig. This is my Blaukat Power Finesse Throwback jig. A Finesse jig is a deadly December bait, especially the living rubber. This is what makes this jig so good, guys. It's got living rubber frog hair on it, which undulates in the water like silicone doesn't. Hand-tied skirt, you know, the attention to detail second to none. The living rubber gives it a glow in the water that silicone can't duplicate. So I'll put this link, and this jig will be in my tackle warehouse link in the description also. We got 3 different sizes, 6 different colors. I recommend any type of green or brown combination, you know, green and purple like this, or brown and purple is good. We got all those colors on the website there. And then match it up with a Zoom Super Chunk Junior on it. Most of the time with this right here, guys, again, it's all about rock. I'm fishing the Finesse jig, 12 pound test Seaguar and Vizex line, you know, 7 foot, 2 inch medium heavy bait cast rod, and I'm casting to steep rocky banks. That's the whole deal with this. My favorite area to fish the Finesse jig on in December are bluff banks, just like I was talking about with the jerkbait. I'll just, depending upon the water clarity, I'm looking for these fish to be in anywhere between 5 to 20 foot of water, maybe a little bit deeper. Say, for example, if that water visibility is 1.5 feet, I'm looking for those fish to be in that 5 foot zone. But if it's real clear, like right now, Table Rock is really clear. You got 8 to 10 foot of clarity in some parts of the lake. Those fish could be down 30, 40 foot deep. But just cast the Finesse jig to the bank and just work it down the bluff, however deep that you think the fish are, or any rocky bank. You know, riprap bank, you know, channel swing bank, anything like that's gonna be good. But it's all about rock. I don't really fish this jig around wood in December. Like everything else with the wiggle wart and the jerkbait and the jig, it's all about fishing rock with it. So anyway, guys, that's the three that you need, man. If you take these three baits right here, get you a wiggle wart, get you one of my power finesse jigs here, and a 110+1 junior, and you're pretty much good to go, man. You can catch fish all through December in a lot of different lakes across the country, and it works for me. I catch a lot of fish on all three of those. So anyway, guys, hope it helps out. Again, Tackle Warehouse has got that big Black Friday sale going on. It'd be a good time to stock up on these three baits, get some good discounts. You can help the channel out at the same time. Really appreciate that. We'll talk later.